Ahoy there, mateys. Please make sure your main brace is pre-sliced, as we set sail across an ocean of normal FPS shooters to bring you something slightly different. Yes, Rare, the developers behind such classics as GoldenEye and Viva Pinata, bring us a new first-person adventure, action, sailing, co-op pirate game? It's not exactly a packed market to plunge into. On installing, you're greeted with some rather high-quality sea shanty style music, and the option to pick a randomly generated pirate body to inhabit, pick a ship size, and spawn into the world. And what a world you find yourself in. It's a cartoon-like aesthetic, they aren't pushing for photorealism, and it feels approachable and beautiful in its own way. The islands look idyllic or foreboding in a caricature fashion, but the real star of the show is the water. I say this with infinite certainty. This is the best water ever in a video game. It's honestly mesmerizing the first time you set sail. It crests and falls and froths and rolls and generally behaves exactly like you've always wanted water to behave in a game. The ships react to this watery drama exactly as you'd hope as well. They match the cadence and angle of the waves in a believable way. Yes, I'm nerding out about this stuff, but yes, honestly, it's beautifully done. The actual handling of the ships is believable too, but it's certainly in an arcade style. You get speed advantages when properly angling your sails to the visible wind, but it's not about to make you tack back and forth to make progress against the wind. This isn't aiming to be a sailing simulator after all. There are two sizes of noble vessel to command: a sloop for two-person crews, and a galleon for a full four-person complement. Both strike a good balance between keeping you busy with general boat admin like tending to the sails and keeping an eye out for potentially aggressive pirates, and giving you time to joke with your friends and play sweet sea shanties together. All in all, there aren't many games that feel like this. The setting isn't a common one, and the experience is like being refreshingly splashed with cold, salty sea spray off the bow of your galleon. The general PvE gameplay loop for the beta was to go to an NPC guy on an island, get a mission from him to find a treasure chest on another island. The mission was normally in the form of a riddle and a map. Solve the riddle, follow the map, dig up the chest, and then return it to the same guy to earn currency and reputation with him. The higher your reputation, the better the missions you can buy off him, and so on. Currency can also be spent on cosmetic improvements to player appearance and weapons. And this is where the first faintest alarm bells for progression start to ring, and this is excluding the fact that digging up treasure chests but never actually opening them feels powerfully odd. The gameplay loop is all about reputation and cosmetics. There's no power scaling through unlocks or finding items. The sword you get at the start of the game is exactly the same strength as those wielded by Admiral clothes-wearing veterans. The only difference is the actual gameplay experience of playing Sea of Thieves. This is obviously good for new players to know that you're never going to meet another player who you are simply out-leveled by. They have more health, damage, or whatever. But for the long-term health of the game, you have to wonder if grinding reputation and earning newer cosmetics is enough to keep people playing. The full release game will have more mission giver NPCs that don't revolve around finding treasure chests. I believe there's even one about transporting animals, which sounds intriguing. And also the cosmetics in the beta weren't the final number either. We had hair and different clothing, but in the future there will also be ship cosmetics as well, things like sails and those figureheads on the bow, and so on. The PvP gameplay in the Sea of Thieves beta was basically all about trying to spot people who potentially had loot on board their ships and engaging them in cannonballs and fisticuffs. Ships take damage from cannon fire, filled with water, and eventually sink. So either rush on board the enemy vessel, kill them, and then nab their booty before they respawn, or pepper their boat until it looks like a teabag and sinks, stopping them from respawning there, and pull their chests from the wrecked hull. The naval combat was a bunch of fun. You suddenly needed people to man the guns, judge the cannonball firing arcs, repair the damage, bail out water, while still tending to the sails, navigating the ship, and resupplying from below. There's a great feeling of us versus them, and let's all do our best and get ready on the left-hand side and fire, that kind of thing. The game undoubtedly works best when played with friends. In fact, if you treat it as an engine and a playground for generating cool adventures for you and your buddies to enjoy, then that is Sea of Thieves at its best. You can share quests and sail the seas, running away from former adversaries while you try and find treasure, or be ruthless and prey on those looking to return their booty for money and reputation. I doubt this is the kind of game I'd ever try and play solo though. The experience of sailing the boat is novel, but not the sort of thing you'd want to grind just to level up more reputation to do more of the same. This isn't an MMO where you might put in some hours to try and get your gear raid ready or whatever. After all, this is all about reputation numbers and cosmetics. Performance was patchy, I'd say, but keep in mind this was a beta and my computer isn't exactly the newest. It basically seemed to scale directly with the complexity of the islands you were on or in close proximity to. If it's an island with lots of structures and items, then performance generally fell below 60 FPS. Out in the seas with the gorgeous water and even during ship combat, it was silky smooth. So, in looking to some sort of conclusion, we need to also talk about price and platform. Taking the latter first, it's perhaps unsurprising for Rare, a developer acquired by Microsoft in 2002, but on PC this is only available in the Windows Store. Not only that, Windows 10 is a requirement. So don't go looking on Steam during their sales. I'd hazard a guess to say this will stay an Xbox and Windows Store exclusive. The other side is price, and let me neatly sidestep that point once again by talking about just how special and magical the game can feel when you're in the midst of a battle with others, or even just doing battle with the elements while riding through a storm. It does generate moments of group fun that I honestly can't remember another game supplying in recent memory. There's also talk post-launch of exclusive areas for legendary ranked pirates and exclusive higher tier cosmetics to show off your status. And then there's even talk of a kraken to rise its tentacles up from the deep to attack passing ships. The main problem for me is that in the UK this is £49.99, in the United States that's $59.99. That's a lot for any game these days, not least a brand new IP being sold through a storm that isn't Steam, Uplay or Origin. The gameplay loop does feel odd at the moment as well. Do missions to get chests, to sell for money, to buy more missions to get more chests. It's a bit like you see the path of the gameplay immediately head off over the horizon. It's also massively reliant on having friends to play as well. That, with the cost, might be an issue. Because without those friends to play in this beautiful world, it does feel a bit thin. I did immensely enjoy my time with the Sea of Thieves beta. I do wish them all the best for launch. They've made a novel, highly enjoyable game, which does deserve a decent player base. It's just a shame that the entry cost is so high. What do you think of Sea of Thieves? Does it wet your whistle? Does it shiver your timber? Let me know in the comments below right now your thoughts about the game, not me talking about games like this in general. I do want to hear your opinions. If you want to follow me on social media, there are links to Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, and even a brand spanking new Steam group you can join for added cool points. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.